Hello, it's me, Poison, but this time not muted. I hope everyone is doing well as we get ready for the stream. Hello, Silver Sun. I hope you're doing well. Gonna put down and heart out. It's my favorite part now. We ain't gonna tell no one. Um, I'm doing pretty good. We're gonna be redesigning a model that hasn't been redesigned for like the past 2 years because I like to call it a sponsored stream, but I was given WoW, so we'll be able to play it. And yay! I also have winter allergies. Titanic. Typically, it's hay fever when you have that. So anywhere, if you're exposed to like ragweed or things in the ragweed family, if you have allergies in the like spring, well, like winter/fall, it's typically ragweed. And then springtime, it's a lot of like tree pollen issues. Because you actually are allergic to specific types of pollen typically. Unless you have asthma, then you can sometimes like any pollen whatsoever. And some people are allergic to all pollen, but most of the times people have specific pollens they're allergic to. Especially if you notice that you have allergies during specific seasons, because basically your allergies trigger when that plant is pollinating. This is one of the areas where I was talking with a doctor, and it was further highlighted the difference between a scientist and a doctor, because they were like, "That's nice, dear," and I'm like, "How do you not find this fascinating?" And like, you can figure out people's allergies by when in the year they have allergic reactions. I like to say that like a scientist is going to know the general rule, but a doctor is going to know the rule that applies to you. Because one thing we learn in biology is that biology's rules are more like guidelines, because life does find a way. I hate that. And plus, a lot of allergy medications also make me drowsy. No, because like I will be going to a doc, so I have to get full panels done like every couple of months because I'm immunocompromised. So they have to keep track of my immune system. But like I will keep track of like bodily fluids and things like that, consistencies and stuff, because a lot of like your bodily fluids contain mucus. And I noticed that I can predict when I'm going to be sick because the consistency of a bodily fluid would be like more thick. In other words, containing way more mucus. My my doctor though, like they weren't that interested in it, which is like it's kind of weird we run a full panel, but like not super interested in like the minor things. Ooh, I do like oolong tea. So sometimes when we do a new model design, we do it in vroid Studios, but this time I'm wanting to do it in Clip Studio, so that way we can kind of do a speed paint version of it, because we haven't done a speed paint in a while, and so I want to be able to do that. We'll switch to the live scene here in a second. I just gotta make sure everything's posted. Skinny dipping with your heart out is my favorite part now. We ain't gotta tell no one. Do 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 do. Okay. And also, I don't believe there's any like playback going through, from what I can tell. Yeah, it looks like we're good. 'Cause, 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 Me. Oh, that's the other thing I needed to check. So I believe I'm dual cast streaming to both like vertical and horizontal. So my setup is going to be a little bit different. Normally I put myself all the way to the left or all the way to the right. This time I am going to put myself more center screen. And we're going to shrink me down. There we go. And so as long as I keep a lot of like the action stuff towards the center of the screen, it should be fine. Oh, nice. Let me go live scene. Oh, whoops. I should have moved myself on this screen. I forgot that wouldn't live update. So I turned. That works. I should be all good. So this is the previous design that is 2 years old now. And I went ahead and moved the outfit part and like thinned it up a little bit. But we're gonna be working with this version of the model because this is the newer like base model. I went ahead and made the skin like closer to the right color. And I'm thinking we're gonna maybe redesign this a bit. Because at first I was just gonna do like some texture updates, but I think the more I spoke with people, I decided that it might be better to instead do some like full overhauls of the design. First, I'm gonna black out the background. I like working with a black background because I like to work with dark colors and bright color contrast. There we go. My mod said that what I should do with this is like have the snake like come up and be eating my lower half. Because I have done a Naga before, so it wouldn't be the first time. Because we moved a little further away from the plant side of things, and we made it more along the lines of like poison in general. Which does make the like jellyfish motif stuff that I was doing also work. Oh, nice. I like Penn's shirts. And I am gonna turn on the light because it's a little dark. Looking like a sock puppet. So I'm going to up. Okay. Forget how are fangs structured in a snake? Fangs, snake. So I'm pretty sure they have bottom. Okay, if I was gonna do it like this, I would probably need to put the snake head up the front. Or do an asymmetric design. I don't tend to do a lot of asymmetry just because I prefer working with symmetry because I can use the symmetry tool. But let's just see how this looks. Because I do kind of like having a side profile of the snake. And we have actually made a naga before. Same. I remember one time I had like a really large plushie collection and I came home one day and it was completely gone. It's like that's the kind of like family I grew up with. But we're not with those people anymore. I'm not gonna do full detail here. I just kind of want to see like how I like this. This is more like a rough draft. Like I would have had no problem with giving away some, but I will say I was plushie obsessed when I was a kid, so I did have a ton of them. Thankfully, my plushie that I've had since I was really little, it survived because it was hidden in my memory box, so they did not get to that one. I also think this was kind of funny because of the fact that like I turned the parents into boots. And so it'd be kind of funny if there was a little bit of snake revenge. I don't think. I don't think. Angry eyebrow snake. Mad. Let me see if I can't pull it up. I'm gonna pull up what the Naga looks like. Because this is one idea. I have a picture of it. I just gotta scroll back because I made it early last year. I can just do this on this monitor. There we are. Like this is a much older model. And then I did a jade version of that snake. Yeah, I could fully do a snake bottom to this. But I do feel like if I do that, I'll be further departed from the World of Warcraft part. The only World of Warcraft part would be like the Night Elf part. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab my special pen. I can use this to kind of like make this look a little bit more viable. Zoom in. Down. Of course, a lot of the snake detailing would be done in a normal map. So this isn't necessarily the best representation of what this would look like. But I do think that's a neat idea. I don't know if I'm going to do this for the first design for this model, because we'll likely play well for at least like 2 months. So we'll be on rotation for that long. So we'll have time to like make more than one model. And I do think this is a good idea for one of them. Because it'd either be facing like that, or
Nom nom nom.
same. I wanted to see what this idea would look like. I kind of like side profile, but I'm gonna look at now if I did it head on. If we're looking at the snake top down. So I need to erase. Curve this back. Way too big. And hello, Raz. But because this is going to be the fast part and not the full design, I figured go ahead and do it. Oh, it'd be really cool if I made these eyes blink. I also realized that, like, although I was saying snake revenge, I'm highly poisonous. So, like, this might be how the parents died. That it made the boots from. I think if I carved this in right here and like allowed it to snatch my waist, this would be great. Like if this was snatching the waist, 100%. Okay, now let's get to the design that we're actually going to use for the night elf. So one thing I was thinking was to bring this further in and make it more corset-like. I was about to use mirror tool, but that won't work. Let me switch this to a paintbrush. And then take this. Oops, needs to come from the edge. And make this a lot thicker too. Definitely will have to clean this up a lot. That's not an issue. Okay. You know what? I did realize though that this design and that design both have me getting eaten. One of the other reasons for me to do this with the design is sometimes if I have too much of the chest showing, I'll get suppressed on YouTube. And so by covering up the chest a lot, I hope that I can fix that and maybe not have the videos have that issue. And I am actually gonna like clean this image up because I want to see like how it looks. And so this one I want to make it basically a full drawing instead of just a sketch. But we're gonna start with sketching. And then I'm going to add the line that goes in the center of these teeth. First, we need to see. See, I don't know if I like that too much. Because I should be able to kind of see like what the end product's gonna look like. I'm not 100% sure I'm sold on it. So with this one, what I have is the two different fly traps on either side, grabbing the sides of me. And if I did this, it would be one that's like grabbing me from the back. So let me try something different. Take my L position, like yeah, should still be able to be heard. Okay. I'm not sure about that. So let me try something different. I am actually going to grab a symmetry tool for this. And I want to put it about right there. That should be good enough. Control C. Go to this. I'm going to bring this symmetry tool all the way up, so that way it's easy for me to turn on and off. Symmetry tool work. Same. Fly trap. I get it. What I'm working on is redesigning this outfit so that way we can have a little bit more of a glow up moment from it. Because this is the original, if it lets me show easily. Nope. This is the original. And while the textures and stuff is already a glow up in itself, I feel like I could design something that's a little bit more clean. I did joke with possibly doing like a snake at the bottom. But I kind of like the carnivorous plant theme. Same. See, and that's my other thing. Is like I don't want to cover up the abs. I gotta pull up my drawpad software. Again, I don't know why I made myself small on the screen. That was unnecessary. Okay. Settings, admin privileges, yes. My shortcut keys won't work if I don't give it admin. There we go. I'm trying to, okay, now let's come back to the live scene. For some reason, my symmetry tool isn't symmetrying. Okay, there it goes. But yeah, we're gonna try a few different silhouettes. Hmm. I want to fill these. Go. I do think it's kind of interesting that a lot of the WoW designs do show midriff. And I want to go off of this. Get this to... Can I turn off the symmetry part? I can. You know, when I first drew a Venus flytrap, I wasn't aware that the teeth were red. And also, when I was learning about Venus flytraps for the guest lecture that I did, I found out it was an endemic species to North Carolina. Endemic meaning that it's only found in one location. Because whenever I think of a Venus flytrap, I think more tropical, but nope, it's just in the swamp. I think in the Wilmington area is where it's naturally found. Okay, we're looking right now at some generalized design that I can use that maybe cover up just a tad bit more, only because if I show too much skin, TOS doesn't get mad. I don't get a TOS strike, but the video gets a bit suppressed. I'm gonna take an eraser. I just want to. Then I'm gonna erase down here too. This is also not the best. And then I'm gonna grab a darker green and fill this in a little bit. I think this I also like, but you know, this was a joke at first, but at the same time, this might be a more solid design choice. Like as a whole. Same. I would love to draw you like one of my carnivorous plants. Which carnivorous plant do you think you would be? So like there's sundews. This is a mood board as a side note. There's sundews, Venus flytrap, and then you have pitcher plants, dragon tongue. Um, oh, there's a snake plant. I think there is. I remember correctly. Let me pull something up. I think there is a carnivorous snake plant. Like there's multiple plants that have the name snake plant because it's colloquial. Oh, there's one that kind of looks like a cobra, and it has a light trap. The way that light traps work is when the insect gets inside of it, the modified leaf structure is so thin that they can still see light when inside, so they can't find the exit. Like this, so they fly in there and then they can't find the exit because they can still see the light in all the areas. So they get stuck until they die. If I decided to do the snake, what I probably would do is switch out the pitcher plant sleeves for belladonna bells. And believe it or not, it's not even efficient. Being carnivorous is not efficient. The reason why we don't see it in nature very often is because modified leaf structures actually take more energy to produce than regular leaves. So, and they also take more energy to operate. The main time we see carnivorous plants is in swamps or places that have very heavy canopy where the plant can't compete for sunlight. And so that's where we think the carnivorous trait comes from, is whenever it fails to compete for sunlight, it's another way to get nutrients. And some plants can even like detect the type of thing that's on their leaf and not close or activate just because of stimuli. Like Venus flytraps don't close whenever it rains. That was we discovered that actually through Charles Darwin. I mean, if it's to survive, you can do a lot. Like, would I suggest you drink the water of a pitcher plant? No, because it's highly acidic. Like, it won't melt you, but it's not good for your gut bacteria, I would have to assume. Also, because it's probably full of bacteria. I also think it would be very rare to cut open a pitcher plant and not find insects inside of it. But I think this might... The only issue is that this outfit, one of its main things is it's supposed to be a glow up from this. And if I do that snake bottom, I don't know if I could still say it's a variation of this outfit. I mean, I can say whatever I want, but I don't know if I'd be accurate in saying it. So the idea, this wouldn't actually come up this high. This is just like, if you can tell from the eyes, like a little like doodle. I'd want the cheeks of the mouth to go over the hip, but the top of the mouth, I need this not to scale. Free transform. It'd probably go more like this. That looks very alien-esque. Because of the like sides of its mouth having that like, it makes it look like the carnivorous plant is the side of its mouth. I believe what you mean is to have it just cover up this bottom part. Which that could work too, because I'm not... These pants aren't necessarily like the most creative thing I've ever made. And I need a reference. Okay. I will typically need something that covers, but the thing that will cover this is probably the snake head. And then using the scale normal map, I'll be able to blend them in together. Yeah. Do you have anything you like that crosses a flower with something else? Um, have you seen Hell's Paradise? I do like that anime, and my OG backstory is very close to it in concept, but my OG backstory I came up with before that was even in the US. Basically, all my models are created on this island that used to be a laboratory where people were experimented on, but eventually, because of the DNA makeup and the superpower-esque thing that it did, uh, the basic the clones of people that have plant DNA mixed in with them took over the island. And now it's an island where the plant homunculi replicate themselves. There's actually a really cool short. I did an animation uh with this model. I wonder if it's in this. Of one, this is one of the pictures I drew. Like really early on with this model. I do know about Rose Dragon, and I wish the trap tricks used age appropriate monsters, like age appropriate appearance, because I do like the idea of those cards, and that's kind of a little bit where this came from, is trap tricks. I should have another drawing that's close to that, but different. I don't see it. And I did this like orange yellow pitcher plant, but I do think I want to switch it at least to a purple pitcher plant because the Venus flytrap and the purple pitcher plant are closer to each other in origin because you can find purple pitcher plants also in Wilmington, North Carolina, in the bogs. Let me pull up a picture of the Rose Dragon. We familiarize ourselves with it. I always just save the image, which is why my desktop is so messy. I have a foxtail that I could use for the bottom of like a dress that I could do this with, and it come down like a skirt because it has like those spikes on the outside, which is also how I do the snake tail. But the biggest challenge right now that I'm facing is what to do with this. Because I feel like if I can cover more, then I won't have to worry about TOS. But I'm also having a hard time liking how it looks when I cover more. Partially because I am someone who uses slutmog in games. I like I like my clothes and outfits revealing. I mean, as you can kind of tell from my model, like it's a crop top, but part of the reason why it's cut the way it is just because TOS and also not getting my uh, things taken down. So this currently they all link together through the back. So it's supposed to be like a bunch of different plants coming off of this. And this is one of the reasons why I thought I might just do texture updates, is because I actually really like this design. It's probably one of my favorite outfits that I designed. Oh, where did this come from? I did something and I don't know how to fix it. There we go. I fixed it. Same. I will say I go by Digimon rules, and what Digimon rules means is that as long as there's not a nip, you're pretty much in the clear. So technically everything I make is PG-14 because there's never a nip. And why would there be a nip for plant creatures? We do not produce milk that way. It'll be annoying because I'll have to do it side by side, like one side and then the other side. But this might be the better solution, is to do it one side and then the other, just so that way it can staircase. I think one of the first designs had the teeth come out this far. Though sometimes if you only barely cover something, it ends up looking more mature, I'll use that word, than if you had left it just completely uncovered. Which I fear this might end up being that kind of censorship. Where like it's more covered, but because it is more covered, it looks like it's covering something. I feel like I want to make these a lot longer. There we go. Because these also get a super cool shader effect that I put on it, which is kind of like a metallic-y shader. that goes like red and yellow, or red, lime, and lemon. Like they're very just like tropical-esque. Basically this. So the lore for the snakes, I could make a reference um with the like fact that uh the St. Patrick's thing of like there's no snakes on the island. But I'd probably say because given the floral and the diversity of plants, it's more than likely a tropical island. So I would probably place it um closer to like South America, and probably like not super far off the coast. And it is a place, a lab where people were experimented on. So like you can assume that there was a lot of other things that were also getting experiments ran. Because the experiments that were being run were based on DNA, which is why I used to have the DNA sleeves on my model. I might need to recalibrate my draw pen because I'm turning my draw pad and I'm seeing just how off it is. Yeah. Now that my pen's flipped. Same. Legally distinct Poison Island. Original island, do not steal. I'm recalibrating my draw pad so that way my pen is actually where I tell it to be. Do, do. Workspace. Sometimes I don't have an issue with the calibration. Other times I do. Because I can actually draw fine sometimes without adjusting it, because I used to use a draw pad where I looked at the screen more than I looked at the draw pad. So like my draw pad didn't have like a screen on it. I keep on getting questions from the subreddit, uh, which I ended up as a top 1% poster on, but I stopped answering the questions because like I don't like the way that they talk to people if they're not good at art, if that makes sense. Or if there's something they don't like, they don't know how to keep it to themselves. And I don't really want to reward that type of behavior. If there's people who want to ask me, though, they can come to my Twitch. I will gladly answer there. No, it was specifically for the program I use, vroid. And like, it was one of those things where like other people wanted to determine like for me wise, other people want to determine what I had drawn, and I don't like that because I am the artist, so I get to decide what I drew. You can decide whether I drew it accurately or not, but you can't decide what it was that I drew. But yeah, no. And I'm like, I don't think you get to ask for my help and also be kind of a dick about it. So I'll just take my multiple #1 badges and just spend that time on my like YouTube page where I've cultivated an audience that knows how to behave a little bit better. I did also get a top 1% poster in 3D modeling though, the r/3D modeling for a pair of shoes I made. I When I was a kid, I used to always want to get the carnivorous plants because I hated bees, and carnivorous plants can typically handle a lot of them, like especially pitcher plants. Like I hated wasps with a burning passion, partially because I'm allergic, but partially also just because I hated them. It wasn't all based in reason. I need to cover this area so that way I can see better. Okay. And then I'm going to do a new tab, and I'm going to take this red, but I'm going to move it slightly over just so that way they can look different. I kind of like this red more. Same. Alien spider. Oh, are you talking about my alien spider-esque model? Because that one, honestly, I can get away so much lore-wise by just being like, uh, something something, science fiction. Oh, did it not send? Let me see. Sometimes things get blocked for no reason. Uh, and if you're, oh, I see the clip, play the plays the clip with now with the alien spider. I thought you meant, uh, I have, let me go to it. Should be right here. I thought you meant this. Or possibly scroll up. Not that. Or possibly this. I will say, if there's one season that I eat, it's Halloween. These spiders on this outfit, by the way, are animated and crawl around the outfit. We need to take this. this. And then I need to sharpen these. I probably should actually redraw that because I don't like how that one's shaped. Because it should be probably turned up. More like that. Same. It does kind of. And I think the specific hair clip is butterfly clip. To be fair, butterfly clips are kind of like even the thing is called teeth. So like structured very similar with the same like naming. Go. I'm gonna erase this bottom here. I think it's like that corner specifically that my draw pad doesn't like. Eraser. Sharpen these. Make this a point. And then I'll want to interweave which one's on top and which one's on bottom, like in this midsection. I do think this might be the start of a more solid look. And then in order for me to not have to do this on front and back, I'll probably put the mouth, the back of the Venus flytrap right here. So that way it's biting the side. Foley, the painter, I don't know who that is. Let's see. Foley, the painter. For some reason it filled with Warframe. No, go away. This. Oh, it's like I want to say 60s or 50, because it's not 50s. 50s is different. It's either, or 70s maybe. Like, although these faces look very 1920s inspired. Okay, one thing I can say is that I love the way that that lip is shaded. I like that cherry red shading. Some of the paintings kind of look like a overexposed picture. I'm gonna use uh, purple picture, just so I can remind myself what those shades look like. Save image. So that green part is young growth, but this deep, like burgundy red, well, burgundy purpley red. I think burgundy's more on the brown side. I think doing that like kind of cell wall design might also be cool. I didn't know there was a painter warframe. Oh, it's upcoming. I look forward to it. Do we have a video of it? Okay, it looks like we have a video of some of the stuff. I need to move this over to my other browser. I'll pull it onto the screen.
So Devstream 182 has just ended.
I have to keep it muted or else I'll get like a strike. I say that because that's happened to me before. Especially if they're speaking over it. Okay, let's skip forward. This is what I want to see. Foley animations. Oh, are these idols? Okay, these are idols. Oh, that's cute. Ooh. That could make for some really cool looks. Okay, it looks like that's all we were gonna see of that. Possibly. Okay. Let's see. But that is really cool. I have a paper doll VTuber model that has well, it's like a shadow puppet VTuber model that has I use two at one time. One that's the paper doll part, and then one that's the shadow part that goes behind me. Yeah, I can't wait to see what their abilities are too, because it looks like they're gonna have some really animation centric abilities. So like very visible, which I will really like. So I want to bring this more to this color. I'm gonna start with just coating this with the purple. Neat, neat. There we go. I I love the warframes that have way more of an animation to them. Okay, and the part of the picture plant kind of looks cell wallish. Kind of like what a leaf looks like under a microscope if you don't have it fully zoomed in. And where does the lighter green parts go? It looks like mostly the lighter green is seen on the younger growth side, so fresher, but the inside of it's also a little green. So what I'd probably do is add like a green sheen to this. This, but for the sake of this drawing, we're gonna do actual green. And we're gonna put it on the lighter parts here. I do play a druid in WoW, as a side note. That's the other reason for this design. Oh, there was another point where like my idea for why I have so many models was the Kingdom Hearts effect of like world jumping. This one is kind of a coat, just very thin layers of this darker purple. Kind of get that like more sickly color. And if I wanted to make this more WoW coated, I could add kind of like a leaf head, like shoulder piece here. So I'm going to zoom in. The other part of me is like every detail I add is something I'm going to have to add again. Oh, this is looking like an eggplant. And I'll need this to be on top of that. I want these to be larger leaves because that would be very well accurate. Judging from these right here. We'll also want to shift the colors here a little bit. But I'll worry about doing that. I don't... Okay, so I don't hate this color, but I don't feel like this purple goes with this red. That's a little bit better. Though that bottom part kind of looks like throw up. By the way, this outfit would smell very, very bad because it's an overturned pitcher plant, and those do not smell good on the inside. I think this sleeve actually might be superior. I like this collar idea though. But that's sometimes what it means to be like grip sketching the design, is you only keep part of what you did, and that's why I'm supposed to put them on different layers. But I didn't. This. do. I love how it's like I've gotten strikes for playing non-royalty music on stream before. That I'll watch someone else's stream and they'll play like heavy rock or like just top 40s. And I don't know why that is. Because I used to do art too while listening to music on stream all the time. I think at one point I did do this collar on this model, but I couldn't get the clipping to work right, and it kept on like having issues with itself. But I wouldn't have that issue now because I know how to do it better. One thing I will say, I don't know why um, WoW doesn't employ normal maps. I actually am fine with like good with both. Um, I've always been very laissez-faire about my gender. Or laissez-faire, not laissez-faire. Because like when I say like I'm gender fluid slash neutral, like I mean that by its fullest degree. So whatever someone feels comfortable using, people get really upset with me because they'll try to misgender me, but I'm just fine with whatever. I'm like, okay. Because like I did that with one person who was like leaving a hate comment on my channel before, and they're like, I'm gonna report all of your videos. And I'm like, okay. It's not, it wouldn't be the first time that's happened. And YouTube just always removes the strike. Okay, and then I'm gonna take this, my crutch. Just gonna feather this a little bit just to give it more of a leaf-like texture. Oh, my chat went away. There we go. Same. No, I have been like ever since I was little, been called both sir and ma'am. And I'm like, it's I got used to it. That's like it. Okay. It's really not that important to me, so I can always typically tell, always typically, um, I can always typically tell when someone's doing it maliciously, and when they do that, I do just tend to block because I know I have a pretty diverse audience, and I don't want them to have to see that. as like profitable as rage farming can be, I also just don't need that negativity in my life. I'm also not going to worry too much when it comes to the bottom half design, I think, right now, because of the fact that, like, if I do that, I'm basically wasting time a little bit because of the fact that, like, you won't only see the top half of me typically. Same note. I think the people who are most wording, it's just if you can be made to question it by someone else saying it, then that's time to like maybe ask yourself why that is. You might need a journey. And that's okay. We support going on a journey here. Sometimes it's called projection. You feel insecure about your masculinity, and so you're like, wait, why is this person fine with being a woman? It's like, for one, being a girl is not an insult, nor is being trans. So, like, I would never be offended to be called that. Thank you. I'm going through and adding a little bit of detail here and there to see if I can get a better idea of what it's going to look like in product wise. Because again, this is me drawing out a loose sketch that's going to be the design. So the way that I did the sleeves, let me blur this real fast. I did the sleeves in Krita, but let me go off to the side here. And I'm going to grab this color, this bottom red. And then I'm going to take this, go up. This is how I did it. And blur. See? I love using the blur tool. I think one of the reasons why I like using the blur tool so much is because a lot of my artistic techniques I learned how to do, I kind of just picked up from makeup, and blending is really big in makeup. A lot of the times if a look doesn't look right, it's because you haven't blended it yet, or you've not blended it enough. Take this, move it a little bit closer to the lime. I'm going to take new layer. Just want to do 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 do. Boop. And this. Oop, undo. It's when I flip my hand that like my pin gets really far off from where I'm putting it. Fingertip. This fingertip tool is so nice. It has quickly become like a little bit of a crutch for myself. I say it because like I don't work as much on staying in the lines because I know I'll fix it with the fingertip tool. It's also really good at making the like tips. I love it for hair too if I'm gonna do like drawn hair detail. And then I'm gonna switch this to, where is it? Add glow. Then blur. On the bright side, I think whenever I don't play music on stream, it does make it to where I feel the need to talk more, which is not a terrible thing. Okay, and I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna like, because this is one type of shading, I'm actually just gonna vibrant this up so that way it can just match what I'm doing on the other parts. Also, because I will add a slight glow to these sleeves. Undo, no. Do. I can fix that hole later. I'll talk to you later, later. Ooh. Do 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 do. Okay, and then get this. I'm just gonna bring it down just a tiny bit. I think for the snake, I'll probably do like a red-yellow gradient. Which it will get dyed in Unity, not in this program. Because it gets a shader on it that'll be very difficult for me to see how it's going to turn out in vroid. I could make it a coral snake because that matches the color scheme. Okay, and then I'm going to take like a white blue. So I'm going to give it the same eyes I have. Which is very much the night elf like eye. So I need some elements that scream night elf. Otherwise, it doesn't become clear. And I'm already taking creative liberties here. Here. Erase. Ah, that's on the normal layer. Okay. I'm probably going to darken my hair because a lot of the hair colors that you have the option for are a darker green. Oh, you know what? So Z. Come down to here. Magic wand. And then correction, gradient map. Let me use this like night sky one. Take this, go to a green. Oh, that's ugly. Got this. That's closer to what their green is, but I don't know if it's the green I want. Yeah, because theirs is very grass green. And then this. Kind of like that. Okay. But I can work with this. I'm gonna grab their green. Oh, theirs is way more desaturated than mine is. But I put a good base down, so I should be able to work with it. And get mine shaded correctly. And this. Then I'm gonna take my fingertip tool. Undo. And then fingertip tool again. And then there we go. New layer. Let's do some makeup. Doo. This is the one I did last time. So we'll probably go with this one. Oh no, this is the one I did last time. It's like a swan. I also like this one though. Is that just... Oh, that's a maple leaf. Okay. I need to pull that picture up on the other monitor so that way I can really judge it. Do. Oh, I could do this. So that's about the right spot. Mm, just gonna go behind the eyebrows. I still remember when I was surprised to find out that this was supposed to be like a bird of some kind. I don't think this is the one that's supposed to be a bird. This one, I didn't realize it was supposed to be a bird. That was done on the wrong layer. This needs to be on its own layer, so that way if I mess up. Okay. I want to do the swan one because that's the one I did last time. I think it has like a pelican or whatever this bird is. I may not be the best at line work, but I tend to do pretty good when it comes to like building an image. Now that I see the bird, I can't unsee it, but yeah, I do the full thing without realizing that this was supposed to be a bird. zoom in further. This is supposed to be anvil shaped, I'm pretty sure. I'm probably gonna copy paste it for the other side. Okay. Thing that's obnoxious about this image is the fact that like it goes behind the eyebrow, so I can't really see it. But I'm pretty sure I remember how it goes. I'll use this. Also, because I'm better at sculpting than I am drawing, I like to use basically negative space. So I'll put like a blob down and then I'll cut down the blob until it's the right shape. Like that. I think the problem here is that this is too hooped. Now I'm breaking one of the rules of doing art, and that's I've zoomed in way too far. And you're really not supposed to zoom in far because no one else is gonna be able to see this close. But I do just like doing this tattoo. And if you're doing it just for the fun of it, the rules don't matter. Okay, it's supposed to be like a swoop. I think I need to like cut this back just a bit. Okay, erase. Okay, Control C, Control V, because I don't have to draw that again. Eraser. Yeah, just this can be fully erased. I think this can actually give me some cool layers here. Okay. Let's add a multiply layer. I'm gonna drag this multiply layer to almost right above everything. Like, I want that stuff above this. There we go. This stuff in. Go. Learn. Same. Yeah, no, the snakes, I plan to change the snakes with every model. Because that's one of the reasons why I added them, is because I wanted it just like a cute little thing. By the way, just a real quick shout out to Z-Man. Thank you so much for the level and amount that you've participated lately. It's greatly appreciated. Because one of the things that's hardest about being a smaller streamer is communicating whenever, like you say, it's more quiet. At least that's one of the things I find the hardest. Others are free to disagree. But like in my experience, that's just been what is the hardest thing. And yes, I did add shadow underneath this just so I could pull it out for the teeth. I figured that would be the easier way to do it. I think I was right. Do. Okay, another new layer. This is going to be add glow. And it's for the face. It's blur. Okay, I'm going to take this. There we go. Gonna add another layer. Add glow. It's gonna be for just mass light. I'm gonna use a yellow light, I think. Okay, and then we use like a red light down here. Slight green light. There we go. I need lots of glow layers. I think it's because like light is the thing I like playing with the most. I need this and finger pull. I want to just pull this out like that and then go. I may not be able to draw that well, but I love using the finger blend tool and finger paint. Finger paint like the best. Spin it. And then I want to go behind this model. New layer. But we've gotten to the portion where I'm just like kind of doing the art side. Okay. Now I can go back to this. Okay, I think I need just a slight bit of highlight there. Twitch chat is so on Twitch. So I'm doing really good on the YouTube side, but on Twitch, I think I will typically do good on one platform, but very rarely both. I'm bouncing between like 2, 3 on Twitch. But like we're doing really good for YouTube. I should double check something. YouTube. And thank you, by the way. We are one away from our 666 goal for subscribers, though. Oop. Okay. This is the layer. If I Control C, Control V. And then I'm gonna like use a blur tool on those sections. I do want to erase this. Okay. Same. If you make alt accounts, just make sure you regularly like the things, otherwise it destroys the metrics. Do, 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 do. Okay, and then I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna make another new layer for glow, and it's gonna do the scales on the snake. And I want this to be very slight. This, then erase. I think that's on a normal layer. I don't know which layer the snake normal layer is. I think it's pretty early. There it is. Okay, and then I want to take multiply, make sure that I'm visible. I am. This erase. Uh, I can set that to barely without having to worry about anything. So my hobbies, largely video gaming. I do also read scientific reports sometimes, which might sound like just kind of like a blah, but I hate reading books. And I found that one of the only things I can like stomach when it comes to reading is scientific studies. So it's not actually the brag. It's just like I have a hard time sitting down for a full book. Uh, and then playing video games, mostly art. Uh, I do a large, honestly, I would say one of my main hobbies would be art. I do it both for fun and for content. Okay, let's see. Okay, add down. I need to clean up a lot of this. So what I'm gonna do is come down here, hide, hide, duplicate this, and then I'm gonna take my eraser and do multi-eraser. But yeah, I started reading scientific journals whenever like I was in college, and then I was like, oh wait, these are actually very readable for me. Which is a surprise because like one of the things that makes me struggle with reading, I am deleting, I think, just that layer. Yeah, I'm deleting just that layer because I need to click up higher. But yeah, because I can do them straight to the point, also, there's a speed read method that you can do where you can still absorb all the information that I developed while I was in college. And in case you're ever behind on reading, like, say, like research articles and you're in college, read the first sentence of every paragraph. You'll get pretty much the gist of anything to a point where you can discuss it. Now, if you're looking for specific information, it might help you like skim it, but you'll want to know the information. That being said, if the goal is just to like you have a quiz or something, yeah, just read the first sentence of every paragraph. Don't bother looking up a summary because those are typically not that great. and oftentimes the teacher will use that to like circumvent cheating. So the questions that are there, if you have a teacher that wants to circumvent cheating, some of them don't care, especially in college. I do. Okay, that is the glass shoe is one of the things that got me uh my like Picasso achievement for um the subreddit for 3D modeling. Let's see. I should be able to pull that up. I didn't know that when you create a Reddit account, your name gets set in stone. So my Reddit name is not what it should be because it's just like a random username. Okay, scroll. Here they are. Uh, oh, they might be in the way. Though they're more of a pleaser heel than Cinderella heel. Close enough. That's one of the things that caused me to want to redo my main model. Is because it just my old main model did not have any of the crystal shaders that I was getting really nice notoriety from. So I wanted to make a new one that had some kind of crystal effects to it. Borderlands 3 science minigames. DNA used to be a big thing that I used as like my branding. I did switch from using DNA as my branding to just using the poisonous plants directly. I do know that WoW has one of the games that has the most scientific studies about it is actually WoW, and uh, it was studied heavily because of its ability to like basically run social experiments from it that would not harm people. So like social distancing, spread of disease. We got to learn a lot from WoW. Yeah, when people would bubble with a boss's debuff and kill an entire town. Could you imagine if like we came back to this and it just like was completely done? Which honestly, it's pretty much there. I think I just might want to add like a red gleam to the teeth. And then I might try to draw like a simple black background. That's not right. Mm. Okay. Now just figure out. Oh, we actually had to make a rule once, because I was listening to Kirby Smooth Jazz Remix while I was shading the feet, and I was like, this actually is kind of weird. I was like, maybe we make a rule to not shade feet to smooth jazz on the channel. Right now there's a Muppet feet, and it's not because my feet are actually like that shaded wise. It's that when I color corrected, it got turned into that. Same. They're very much felt. I can show the feet shading though whenever it's not color calibrated. Edit. Oh, this one's not color calibrated. I used just the dye. Okay. There we go. I actually have a good amount of detail on these. This is shaded for the up top appearance when I'm wearing shoes. So it's like has like specific shading there. Same. Oh, is the model on this one? Do. I don't think one of the things will work right, but the other thing should. I don't see them. Elimino P, Q. I have a Queen Boo model. And that one has like Boo shoes and Boo gloves that are like tiny Boos. So I do have that actually as a model. But it's really old and uses my old stuff. I made like a Buetta. You good, but I can Buetta better. It might be in my folder. Screenshots. You scroll down to the very far past. Oh wait. YouTube. Buetta. Poison Oaks. Won't let me search. I'm not popular enough yet to just use my own thing to search. Manage videos. Give it to. There we go. But in the bottom right corner, I don't think I zoom out ever with this. Oh, I do show it. We have over 200 models. If you're wondering why I have a model for like almost every occasion. Oh yeah, my desktop is really cluttered. I was not lying. But see, you can see the boo gloves. And then there's the boo shoes. Oh wait, it's right behind my head. But yeah, we have a model for like most occasions. Oh, I am someone who uh really just saves to background or saves to desktop. Like all of my reference images. Truly, I should do something about it because it is a mess. So I have been streaming making models now for I think 2.5 years. Because we got this one, we did Carnivorous Poison Oaks a year, like in our first year of streaming, like within the first few months, which is why this is 2 years old project or 2 years update. I think let's add glow here. Okay, that's some messy scales, but again, we're not going to be that zoomed in. And when it comes to the actual model, that will be done in Unity. Same. I do have a made model. Once again, doesn't use my updated blend shape tracking, so I need to remake one because I don't currently have one that works with my current face tracker because I now use a face tracker that tracks like 100 blend shapes. Yeah, I'm dyslexic. I was trying to figure out what I did with this side. I was like, what did I do over here? This is what you meant. That makes way more sense. Okay, I'm gonna experiment with trying to make like a simple background. It's not necessary for the design process, but new layer, pull this under. Shadow, new layer. Same. And hello, so yeah, hydrate. You should see super hydrate or super soaker, I believe. I'll redeem it for free because for a while my redeems were broken. Do do do. Where is it? I hate how it gets rid of my eyebrows. I have no idea why it does that. But for some reason it does get rid of my eyebrows. Okay, I think the only thing I could do here is add like a more intense shadow to the foreground. But I don't think I want to do that. Let's see. Okay, I do think same. For Halloween, I do make it blood. Up. My computer is lagging. Encoder overload. Hopefully I don't crash. I'm gonna stop one of the recording things, and maybe that will fix it. Oop. Do I need to relaunch Wardo? Oh, it might actually be Stream Avatars that keeps on doing it. Because when I pull up Stream Avatars, it's actually the one that's lagging the most. That's where the cats come from. Oh no. It looks like I might get disconnected here. Let me... It's weird because like other things are working. It's just lagging a lot. I don't know if you can audibly hear me, but I do think we will probably call it here, seeing how my encoder is overloaded and it might crash here soon. My computer said stop. Enough layers. Actually, wait, no, not even the same computer. I'm gonna see if I close Bordeaux. Oh yeah, and thank you. And I hope everyone has sweet dreams. Good afternoon or good morning. And I'll see you all next time. Bye for now. And thanks again for joining me.